Welcome, Egg Foo What? The first and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm your host, Mike Lisk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of Egg Foo. I'm Greg Wilson. Mike likes it when we say our names for some reason.
You got to get it out there, Greg.
Oh, that's fine. All right.
I'm trying to help you promote stuff.
I'm with you, though.
Yeah, okay.
You're a pro.
Yeah.
I'm just,
I mean, I see you marketing the hell out of everything,
right.
but you're reluctant to put your name out there for some reason.
It's just frantic paddling by a duck that nobody wants to see. I just saw a article. Some woman who put out a book. She got upset that nobody showed up only two people showed up at her book launch. So now she's got like Stephen King, Margaret Atwood, Flavor Flav all chimed in and said, "Hey, don't worry about it. You're great. Those people are losers. You're going to be the best author ever," or some bullshit like that. Where's Stephen King? When I'm desperately putting out content for you people to nothing. Where's Stephen King then? I just marked my 29,000th post on Xmas time today.
There's certainly
content. Myself. That's the sound of me clapping.
You have been steadily producing content for how many years now?
November 2005, so 17 years.
Right after my birthday.
Yeah. My blog, that was why I did it. My blog gets drafted in the Army. In 11 months.
What was it, 2005, 2006?
2005.
2005.
You were a young man, Mike Lisk.
Yeah. I remember.
Where's Stephen King? Where's who's ever the Stephen King of bloggers showing up to cheer me on when I'm whining that nobody cares?
I think I hung in blogging, and I wasn't doing it every day like you. I think I did it for about 2 years.
Was it 2 years?
Just about, yeah. And then I guess Twitter came along. When did Twitter come? 2008? Or well, I wasn't on there from the beginning.
I just saw, for some reason, and I'm talking slowly because I'm trying to remember why I would notice this, because I'm usually too cool for such things. I did notice a day I joined Twitter in May of 2010.
2010, okay.
Which is probably the same as you, somewhere.
Yeah, no, it was probably around that time.
You were Bayonne Mike. That was your blog, right?
Bayonne Mike, yeah.
Everybody had a blog for 3 weeks back in the day.
And I think if you even just go on there, I don't know, you get a warning that it's got a virus or something. I mean, I can't even access it anymore.
Got to go to that Wayback Archive machine.
Yeah. You moved.
Not me.
Yeah, are you still on Blogspot?
Yep.
Is it still Blogspot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just waiting for the day that I'm going to show up and it's going to be like, we're gone.
I guess my inactivity caused it to be brought down. I mean, I haven't looked back on my MySpace or my Friendster.
No looking back, Mike.
Pages. But I did look back on my blog one time, and I couldn't even access it. So it's been consigned to oblivion.
That's like the founder of a company being pushed out, by his own company.
Sort of, yeah.
Thinking in your own blog, it's like, it's been voted out by the board members.
Yeah, but I think these things are all run by how busy the page is, and inactivity dooms you. I had YouTube videos up and stuff, and those disappeared for no reason. Lack of activity, I guess.
Depends on what the videos were, Mike. I mean,
are you still jealous of my response from Dave Davies?
Yes.
But I think we dropped the ball there.
Well, he still seems to be in. Now, I can't let that go without saying that I have gotten 2 replies in my lifetime from Dave Davies.
Well, I'm 1 for 1. So, I mean, how difficult can it be?
I think yours was more personal since it was, Jersey. I think mine was just he liked me unpacking the box set. Actually, no. The first time was when I was like, how come Paul McCartney and your brother never connected and did anything together? Because they're such the most brilliant, I want to say melodists. What's the word for like melody maker? Melodist? That's not right.
Melodious.
Uh,
Yeah, it's hard to pronounce. I think you've got the
something
right
like
word.
yeah. And so I was like, how come these two never got together?
Hmm.
And Dave wrote back, why would they?
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I'm like,
I think there was a competitive streak, right?
well, I'm like, I said it in the tweet. I was like, there's both such amazing at melodies. How come they never got together? And for him to write back, why would they? I'm like, I don't want to be a smart ass. I love you, Dave Davies, but I think I gave the reason because they're both great
Yeah,
melodists
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. So, but still a badge of honor. But yours is good too. And is
Yeah.
he still running around New Jersey?
Well, for the listeners, let's explain what happened.
Dave
Dave
Davies was in a
Davies was in.
band called the Kinks. Rock and roll used to exist.
Yeah, Dave Davies was in a Starbucks in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey.
Where I used to work, Inglewood Cliffs.
You were over there, yeah?
Yeah, that's where In Touch was.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Still is,
Uh,
maybe.
okay.
You drive
Uh,
across the GW
a
Bridge.
great periodical.
Yeah, okay.
In Touch.
Not to be confused with Life and Style. It's
Yeah, it's sister publication.
yeah.
Anyway, poor Dave Davies got some bad service at a Starbucks in New Jersey. He promptly posted a video. You know what? I think that was a savvy move on his part because he took that video down.
Oh, did he?
And yeah, and I suspect
Uh,
somebody from
uh,
Starbucks reached out to him
uh-huh.
and said, "We're
I'm
gonna give
listening.
you
Uh-huh.
some coupons for
Uh-huh.
lifetime coupons."
You really got me, Dave Davies.
which
Sincerely,
which
Starbucks.
which I've thought about. You know, you'd have to do it sparingly. You
Mhm.
know, just complain about some company because
I've
they
thought
all
of that
have.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
You've done that?
I've tried. I think I've tried that,
Oh,
but
you've tried it.
with my 0 followers, they don't feel as compelled to do anything. Uh,
What did you try with?
I can't remember.
Uh,
I'm sure I have.
McDonald's?
I I'm so pathetic at this point. I just assume I've tried that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I can't think of a specific
Uh-huh.
example where I've pathetically reached out to a
Uh-huh.
brand, asked, please give me something free because you've ruined my night.
Uh-huh.
I
I
just
mean,
assume that's happened.
I have a fair amount of followers, but I don't have a blue check. So I don't
Right.
know if that would have any weight. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking, you know, if you're a blue check person, you've got a fair amount of followers, this might be a steady
Mhm.
scam
Yeah.
where all you have to do is post a complaint about something you're particularly fond of, and you'll get this you know, somebody will reach out, and
Well,
then all you have to do is delete a tweet. Not a lot of work. Uh-huh.
how many followers do you? Because he's active on Twitter, which is strange, but I love it because I love him and his band. 34,000 followers.
Uh-huh.
So he's not, that's a lot to someone like me, but
Hmm.
I don't know if that would shake Starbucks to its core.
Does he
Like,
have
oh,
a blue check? I didn't even
he has a blue
remember.
check, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And like how many people at Starbucks know who Dave Davies is? I don't know. Like the Kinks are huge to me and
Hmm.
you, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I overestimate how much she means to other people. Um,
I was
maybe
listening
maybe
to
all you have to do is get that one person who loves you and is like, oh, Dave, oh shit, of course. I mean, if I was at Starbucks, the king of Starbucks, I'd be like, Dave, free stuff for the rest of your life, bro.
uh-huh. No, I've been listening to Kinks driving around since my encounter.
Yeah,
Let me give you a theory. Just listening to some Kinks, and I wasn't. I was basically just listening to some greatest hits collections.
sure.
Um, and I'm listening, and I'm thinking, you know, what is has it ever been established what the source of the tension between Ray and
Good
Dave
question.
Davies is?
Good question. From what I've been able to gather, uh, none of it is musical.
Oh, because I have a
All
theory.
seems to stem. Let me give you this bit, and then I want to hear the theory.
Okay.
Uh, Ray Davies, they famously had 6 older sisters, and Ray Davies is the baby, and he's, the sun rises and says, then along comes this other little shit that he's got to compete with. And apparently from day one, they just hated each other
Really? Okay.
personally and
Wow.
just fought and fight and fight. Now
Uh-huh.
I'm like, when you're that young, do you know to be jealous of someone else's attention? I don't know.
Uh,
And a lot of it's overblown anyway. Like they obviously weren't punching each other every
mhm.
day. And it didn't seem to really affect the music negatively, although it did affect his songwriting. Like the song Two Sisters is about him being jealous of Davies getting to just run around being the guitar hotshot, getting all the action in London while he had to
Uh,
sit back and write everything and worry about the actual band and be the adult.
okay. All right. This kind of ties into my theory.
Okay.
My
Because
theory,
mine wasn't a theory. I was just laying it out.
yeah, well, I mean,
Okay.
you've read more. I haven't read any like biographies or any of that stuff.
We're still
So,
working on To Kill a Mockingbird. So I'm
yeah, no, that's been put on the back burner.
oh
It's
God.
gonna be. I'm reading the
What else
Bono
says
book. I'm reading the Bono book.
freedom,
Is as
America on the back burner?
Yeah. I'm reading the Bono book, and then I'm going to read the Cormac McCarthy has 2 books out. So To Kill a Mockingbird is going to sit for a while. But anyway, back to my theory. Listening to these Kinks albums, and there are songs where the guitar is prominent.
Mhm.
And as I guess as they went along, it became less prominent, right? I mean, the earlier hits have the big riffs, you
Yeah,
know,
but
and
I
it's
don't think that's strange. Like I think that's probably normal for a band that starts out rocking,
hmm
and then their songwriter always wants to do something quiet, like the Replacements that went
hmm
through the same thing.
Yeah, but even in the later period, and I'm listening. My sources for this is I listened to Celluloid Heroes, the collection, and
Mhm.
then I put on Come Dancing, another best of, and they
Okay,
have different songs on.
okay.
They're not the same selections, and it is, I guess, it is later stuff. It doesn't have the early hits.
Mhm,
Um, and I'm just thinking, but every once in a while, this all of a sudden this guitar will just kind of crank in there.
mhm,
And I'm like, all right, there's Dave. Dave's getting his say in this song.
mhm,
But then there are a lot of songs where that's kind of fizzled out. The big guitar riffs have sort of disappeared,
mhm.
and I'm like wondering, was that a source of the tension? Too much guitar from Dave.
Yeah, like
That's just a theory. Yeah.
Ray gets a little jealous of the hotshot guitar getting too much attention.
hmm
I don't know, could be. I mean, I think Dave would tell you that,
Yeah.
but
Well, that's it. That's a good
I think
question
every
for
guitar
Dave.
player whines that they don't get enough.
Uh,
The thing, I wouldn't say you're wrong at all,
mhm,
because Ray does seem, I call him Ray because we're best friends. Um, he
uh-huh.
does seem like a super sensitive guy, and I have read there's instances of like he started getting upset because Nicky Hopkins got all the acclaim for his keyboard playing and something else and yada yada. He seems like he does get sensitive to that stuff, but I don't know if that's Dave Davies saying that because he's pissy about not having enough guitar and stuff. But
mhm,
overall, I would say they had such a long career. Their albums had a flow to them where you can probably pick any kind of not genre, but style at any point, and they were probably going through changes and whatever. But if Ray Davis before he died said, out of jealousy, I fucked with Dave's guitar and the mixes or whatever, that wouldn't shock me either.
uh-huh.
But, but yeah, they had such a long and varied career, especially in the mid period. So
And
uh,
you never got to see him.
never got to see him. No.
No, no, because I saw him twice. I
Mhm.
saw him in Asbury Park, and I saw him at a Glassboro College. I think it's changed its name.
Mhm.
My friend was going there,
And
and
you said that was during the
low budget
low budget.
tour. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
to
yeah, go
me,
ahead.
like I loved Come Dance when I was a kid, and for some reason I loved Lola in high school. I don't know if that had been re-released or something,
hmm
but I didn't really start loving the Kinks until like I just moved to New York. I was probably 25, and my roommate had gotten some uh, preview of some upcoming box set of theirs, like early singles, and I just fell in love with it and kind of went from there. So
Is this Larry?
No, this was Mark,
Oh, okay.
who was Mark Harrisman, who was in a, maybe you've heard of this band, a band out of Pittsburgh in the mid '80s called the Cynics.
Well, yes, the Cynics, the lead singer, is a regular caller to the Best Show.
Yeah, but before him, the first record had Mark. He was the lead singer. He left
Really?
after
Oh,
year
okay. All
two.
right.
If
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
know the whole history there.
if it's the same Cynics out of
Hmm.
Pittsburgh, it's probably a name that was taken there, by a bunch of garage bands.
No, I
If they
mean,
did put out records. They were like a real band.
there's still a going concern, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. But
And
Mark was the original singer. Knowing him the little bit I knew him, I'm not surprised that he left after a year or two because he was kind of a, I don't know,
mhm.
volatile, angry.
He
He was a lot
introduced you
older
to
than me, so
Kinks,
I didn't really hang out with him or anything.
but he was the one who introduced you to the Kinks,
But he reintroduced me. I'd say, yeah,
bro.
yeah, like,
Because I
yeah.
figured you would have been on them from the get-go,
You
when you're
think so?
discovering the Beatles, and
Yeah,
didn't
you
you do
think
the
so?
whole
I mean,
British invasions thing?
yeah, I mean, I loved all those singles and everything, but I didn't really go, wow, I should dig into these albums uh,
Uh-huh.
until then,
Okay.
which is a big task. Uh,
Yeah, it is. And I got all the albums early on, but I have to say, you know, I didn't become like a true diehard. I mean, it's kind of a stereotype, about the British, the nature of the lyrics are, very local.
mhm.
So for an American, it's kind of like you're like, what are they talking about half the time? Um, which I have the same. I have similar problems with. I'm working my way through only Fools and Horses.
Here we go.
So you're still watching the third season now? We're going to do this together.
I watched the entire third season Friday.
Oh wow.
I told you I would.
Okay. I'm checking out an episode or two a day.
Okay.
I'm not doing the whole season in one shot.
Hey, you're only human.
But there's every once in a while they're saying stuff and it's getting huge laughs, and I'm
Yeah,
sitting there stone faced.
yeah.
I like Gordon Bennett. I know I could have Googled
Gordon
it.
Bennett.
Who is Gordon Bennett? Is he the way they talk about him? It's almost like he's the Donald Trump of the UK or something.
I think it's just an expletive. Like, I'm sure I looked it up at the time, because even me, after watching it 100 times, there's still every once in a while something that I'm like, well, I'm just not going to get that.
Right? Yeah.
Like, did you see, like, what episode are you up to in season 3?
I'm up to episode 5.
Okay, well, remember the Friday the 14th when they're in the cabin and there's an
Yes.
axe murderer?
Yeah, I guess that was a Halloween episode.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
as a parody of Halloween, and when the axe murderer comes in there and there's a noise of the helicopter,
Yeah.
Bill goes, "It's Barrett's," and he gets a
Yeah.
huge laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then I only discovered in some interview years later, he was like, at the time there's some big commercial in Britain going around about Barrett's homes or something.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. No,
But
you accept that you're not going to get it all.
right. Yeah, every once
So
in a while there's something I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna. I can
yeah,
understand the context, but
but I thought you might know the Gordon Bennett source, because it
I'm
comes
sure if
up
I
quite
looked
a
it
bit.
up, I can't remember. I can't
Yeah.
remember if it was an actual dude or not.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you could have looked it up as well.
No, I was going to, but I figured you might have a more colorful
Um,
description.
but so you're up to May the Force be with you.
I just saw the one about the antique cabinet and the
Okay,
painting.
not one of my favorites.
No,
Not one
not
of my
very
favorites.
believable the way she switches off, and after
Uh,
getting smacked on the ass, then she wants to be friends with the guy. Yeah, it was a bit of
well,
a stretch.
then you discover why, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's just not. It's in my lower quadrant.
Hmm.
Friday the 14th. I just love that episode. It's
Yeah,
like,
that was an ambitious episode.
yeah, funny. I like it
Yeah.
when they, sitcoms when it's not a bottle episode, but they're just kind of sitting in the cabin for most of it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites, maybe top
A
10.
couple good scares,
Yeah,
people looking for some scares in
yeah.
the situation comedies.
Season 3 had some classics in there. May the Fourth be with you is going to be a classic for you. The last two are kind of okay. They're not going to go on the hang from the rafters or anything, but then the Christmas special is a great one. So
Yeah, I'm following on Twitter now. I guess there's little clips you
oh,
were retweeting. So
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am following that entity, whatever it is. Who's ever running that thing.
Twitter.
Uh, but yeah, to bring it back about the Kinks, just seeing them live, they were just like one of the most entertaining bands. Ray Davies, I don't know, he may be the best front man I've ever seen. Just the way
Yeah,
he can control it, and I guess you've seen
that's
videos
some
or whatever.
clips. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he just like was such a showman,
yeah.
and you're laughing. He's telling jokes. He was doing it at the. I don't know if it continued
Well, I think a lot of
with the
that stuff.
Harry Belafonte thing. Hey oh.
Yeah, I think starting in the mid '70s when he started doing those albums like soap opera, where it was all like concepty, and then he would go on stage and he was a character,
Uh-huh.
kind of real put on a performance. That stuff's a bit weird to me. I don't love that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but it does make sense because he's like a severe introvert. So he was like, well, if I put on a character, I can go out there and put on a show.
Mm.
But yeah, he's definitely he's also like the Beatles in that he's funny.
Yeah.
If he's standing there talking to you, he's going to say something funny, you know. Um, so yeah, great front man, funny, and hit
Mm-hmm.
after hit. I mean,
Yeah. Now those were very memorable shows, and
how many times you go? Twice?
just twice, yeah. But that may have been towards the end, right? I mean, did they ever really tour that much after that, or
Yeah, they kept putting out
they
albums
kept
until
going? Yeah. Well, they had like a live double album. I
they
remember that came out.
they called their end or whatever 1996.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know who was, and they put out some albums. I haven't really dug into the ones, the last 3 or 4 from the '90s.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, thanks Ray Davies, but I mean, come on.
Uh-huh.
Because yeah, you'll see a clip all of a sudden they're on Letterman like in 1992, and it's like what?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I should do more exploring with stuff on YouTube.
yeah, but there's such distinct periods. Their early records, then their real golden era of the albums. Like obviously Village Green,
Mm-hmm.
Arthur, Muswell Hill. Then he gets into that weird Showtime, showbiz stuff.
Uh-huh.
He's like, fuck this, and then it gets back to business with like low budget and the Come Dancing record and all that stuff. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
back to rocking,
Uh-huh.
as Mike Lisk would say, back to rocking.
Speaking of Showtime,
Uh-oh.
Chow Fun.
Yes.
Chow Fun.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Now, so
let you. I'm gonna let you go first.
it was a little cheat on my part because I knew I love Chow Fun.
Really? Wow.
Partly
Okay, keep
because,
going.
well, first of all, yours looks disgusting. Yours
that
looks,
is the closest image to what
yeah,
I got. I always
it's
try and get an image close to what. Wait until you see my real thing.
easy, Mike.
Yeah.
This is, I never think to take a picture anymore, but mine looks way better than yours. Looks like, hey, here's a pile of mushrooms.
Well, no, that's the actual noodles, the Chow Fun
Yeah,
itself. But here's a pile of noodles.
yeah,
That's how I would describe mine.
yeah. I love it. It's noodles. I got chicken. I don't know what you got. Yeah, it's
I
just
want.
noodles and chicken. It's got some coating on it. I don't really know
Mhm.
what, but it's not like that goopy crap we've gotten used to.
No, it's not goopy.
Not goopy. It's just about as simple as you can get: noodles and chicken, Really nothing else on mine. I'm looking at yours. It looks like a train wreck. It
Well,
looks like
no,
I made a mushroom.
again,
I
this
ran
this
into
is
other
this is
mushrooms.
very representative, but it's not the actual.
Yeah.
Mine had some shallots in it, which I mistook,
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had some shallots in. Yeah.
which I mistook for. I thought maybe they threw in some lo mein noodles, and I'm
Ooh.
looking at this, and I'm like, what? Then I realized, but and mine actually had like some lettuce in it, which is like brought back memories of chow mein.
Ugh.
I don't want lettuce in my Chinese food. I don't want wet
Yeah.
lettuce, period.
I don't want hot lettuce. I don't want
Yeah, yeah.
hot wet lettuce. No, thank you. Hey, I'm putting
So,
up the good fight. I'm doing all I can.
uh-huh. So 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 where are you at? I mean, so this was like a good dish for you.
Great dish. Yeah.
Great dish.
Well, part of it is a little sentimentality, nostalgia. I was introduced to this dish up at Sammy's New House of Noodles or
Mm,
Sammy's Noodle Shop
mm.
up on 10th and 10th up in Manhattan.
Okay. Well,
Maybe 25 years ago almost.
uh-huh.
Uh, you ever been to Sammy's?
No, but it must be a well-known place, and I'm sure it's much better than what I got,
Yeah, it's classic. It's got the dead ducks hanging up in the windows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's a nice sit down. Like you're not gonna go grab it and then it's a nice sit down. Not fancy, but if you're getting food there, you're gonna want to go sit down and enjoy it. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and uh, so that was always my go-to. Chow Fun at Sammy's. Um, I just love it. It's great. It's simple. Nothing crazy to it.
See,
Uh,
this reminded me of uh my mother would try to make, well, she'd make stew for us,
mhm.
and she would put noodles in there. And the noodles in this Chow Fun reminded me of that.
Because they're big
Um
and fat and wide, like those.
well, actually, yeah, the noodles she used weren't as big as this. The
Uh-huh.
noodles in my Chow Fun was like the width of like lasagna, and
Oh,
and it was very thin. It was thin though. I mean,
that's thick.
lasagna's thick, but this was like a as wide as lasagna and
Oh,
thin, and just it would it wadded up in certain parts of the dish. I mean, I went nuts. I figured, make it worthwhile. I got the house special Chow Fun, and it did have shrimp. I'll say maybe 7 baby size shrimp, not very,
baby shrimp.
yeah,
Damn.
baby shrimp, not
Damn.
very big. I've gotten bigger shrimp in other dishes. It had very minimal chicken. There
Mm.
was some chicken, but minimal. Same with the pork.
Is that what the
I,
special means?
there
We
were
ain't
about
getting shit.
there were about 3 pieces of pork in there.
What?
It wasn't cheap. It was, I think, $14 or whatever. They didn't give you a small option. So yeah, this is I think this is my second worst dish.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
second worst.
um, even though if I know the dish like I think I do, I feel like taste wise, it can only be so bad. Although I've never seen lettuce thrown in with it. Uh, but that noodle sounds weird because mine are usually like half the width of a lasagna noodle, but twice as thick, like the
Oh, like a
opposite.
thick noodle. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know that that would have solved the problem, because
You had it before?
no, this is the first time for me, because my go-to noodle dish is one that you
Singapore.
didn't like, the Singapore rice noodle.
I like that one.
Oh,
I like.
I thought you disliked that one.
I liked it. I wasn't like it didn't blow my wig off, and I'll probably
Uh-huh.
never think of it, but
Yeah.
it was fine. I gave
But
it a
you take chow mein over that?
no
I
chow
mean I mean
mein.
I mean chow
How
fun.
fun over Singapore rice noodle. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, that's something I would never do.
I
Had the
probably gave the
experience.
Singapore rice noodle a 7 or something.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Oh, okay. But this was just, like I said, there were literally clumps of I'm calling it pasta. It's sort of what it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if you're a pasta fan and just like eating
yeah,
noodles,
yeah.
maybe this is
Absolutely.
the Chinese dish for you.
And it's
But
okay to me if a lot of it clumps together. That's just the way it's
mhm.
always been.
You just like a big clump of noodle.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
But I think I gave the Singapore rice noodles like a 7.
uh-huh. I'm thinking this may be the widest apart we've ever been on something.
Mm,
I was expecting you to just lay into this dish. I was like, this is, but you've got this little memory. You've got this
it's
Proustian.
yeah.
Can I even say Proustian
Whoa, Michael, look at
association
you.
with Chow Fun? This is
Wow.
your cookie or whatever the hell that thing is.
Madeleine.
Okay, I'll let you say it. I'm not going to embarrass myself.
There is a little bit of that to it. Like I don't when I think of this, no matter what situation, I think of Sammy's. And I think the first time I went, it happened to be like this time of year, right before Christmas. It was all cozy and snowy and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. There's some of that.
And is
Uh
that the first time you had it
yeah,
yourself?
yeah, the
Yeah.
first time I'd probably heard of it.
Okay. All right. All right. So
Um,
you were trying it for the first time and you had a good experience.
yeah.
All
And
right.
I've never really had a bad experience because at worst it's always like the one I had today. It was I'm not sitting around writing a country western song about it. It
Hmm.
was perfectly fine. Um, I feel like the baseline for it, as I've seen it, is pretty, standardly just fine at worst.
Hmm.
Like it's not going to be gross.
Right.
So I would give it a. I'm going to say. I'm going to give it a. Normally, I think I would say 8-1. I'm going to give it the La Madeleine bump and go 8-6.
8-6.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go over 4. Yeah, it was not good.
I feel like there was one a couple of weeks ago that we were miles apart. Was it the lemon
Uh,
chicken or?
well, oh yeah, that one was, yeah. We were miles apart on that one because I got, and actually it's the same place. I went to the same place where I got the chicken fingers. This
Yikes!
place, I think, once you get off the beaten path with this place, and this
Yeah.
place is pretty reputable. I mean, they always have a crowd.
Well, Chow
I mean,
Fun is pretty. 'Cause I'm trying to think. I think George mentions it in a Seinfeld episode about
mhm,
it. He's like, "Yeah, it's a broad, flat noodle."
mhm,
Maybe it's in the Chinese restaurant episode. One of those.
okay.
Uh, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna. Have to, maybe if our fans can scramble the jets and nail that down for us. Uh,
Our
maybe
good
it's
buddy
the
Jerry,
episode.
I'm sure will set us straight.
Who?
He's Jerry Papandrea.
Oh, Terry. Yeah, yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah. Jerry
I was gonna
will
ask. I was
in the
gonna ask for a
comments,
ruling.
Jerry always has good summaries and
Yes.
good information.
Yes.
So yes, that's one of the benefits of listening to this on YouTube. You
Yes.
get to see Jerry's comments, and he's usually a first listener. I mean,
I do
he's a big
appreciate.
fan.
I do appreciate his thoughtful uh, uh, discussion about what the actual meal. Because literally, I was just about to say, let's get a ruling from Jerry about what the expectations about
Uh-huh.
how fun should be.
Yeah, let's bring in somebody who really knows how to talk about food.
Yeah. So Jerry, uh, if this isn't the one time you're not listening, then yeah, I'm looking forward to that because maybe I've just gotten lucky and just have always stumbled into this Chow Fun that's very fundamentally simple and it's almost like it could be on the kids menu,
Mhm.
which as we know is the highest of compliments from me.
But this after this experience, this only begs the question:
Uh-oh,
what the hell is my fun?
Mike, you are dropping bombs today.
What the hell is my fun?
I
Because
think
we've
you.
had
I think you know
Singapore,
what's up next week.
we've
Is it
had
aiming
Singapore,
iPhone?
we've had Singapore noodle, which to me is a thin noodle.
Very thin.
So where is my fun gonna find its place?
Where is my
Or is
fun?
it just gonna be clumps of a thin noodle? Which
Where is my
in which
fun?
case, I think maybe we should put this off for another time.
Please don't be
I don't want
clump.
to go too much into the fun.
You worry people are gonna start calling us clumpy. Hey, do you see the clumpy guys?
I mean,
I'm willing to. I don't know. Do you want to do my fun next week or?
we have a guest for next week. Have you already
We can
forgotten?
ask him or her
You
if they
can.
want.
You can do that.
Okay. We should
Yeah.
start having Twitter polls and get people to tell us what to eat.
Yeah.
It's a bit ambitious.
Uh-huh.
We'll have to
Well,
talk to the staff.
while we're on the subject of noodles,
Oh,
where do you
nice.
stand? What is your
Nothing but
favorite?
sexy tonight.
What is your favorite pasta noodle? Italian.
I think I would have to say ziti
Ziti. Yeah.
for two reasons. Number one, I like the way the fork settled, like you can pick at it with a fork
Hmm.
cleanly and get as many as you want.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want 8 ziti in the mouth, sometimes you want two, and you
Hmm.
can poke it and look cool with the fork and you're waving it around. Um, and and ziti was the first pasta I ever saw baked. Like somebody had the pasta and then put cheese on it and then stuck it back in the oven. And my little brain just exploded out of my head.
Hmm.
Uh, that's definitely my favorite. I think ziti.
Yeah.
How
No
about you?
love for the rigatoni.
Rigatoni's fine. Like
Yeah.
to me, it's ziti, and then I don't know, any shape thereafter is fine.
Rotini. Do you like the big round?
Rotini, yeah.
Yeah. Any love for? I really fell for. I don't think I had it until several years ago. Orchetti.
What's that?
They're
Sounds
like
amazing. Just trying
there's
to
a
make me
dish. There's a dish. It's an Italian dish. It's orchetti, sausage, and
oh,
broccoli.
looking it up right now. Orchetti.
Yeah, it looks like a little flying saucer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that became one of my favorite dishes at Italian restaurants. There's no. It's not a red sauce. It's just you know, oil.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
I've had this. Yeah, it's
yeah,
very.
it's
I
tasty.
I think of it as classy. Like if I see these, I'm like, oh, excuse me, let me take my napkin out of my chest.
Yeah, you may not be able to get this at the pizza joint, but I've seen it there. I've seen the option. So it's not
I don't
unheard of.
remember the name. I never knew the name of it.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I don't
Now,
even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
do you
Jerry will
like
check.
pasta
Jerry will
that's
check in on that.
yeah, Jerry will a lot of projects for Jerry today. A lot of him to work on.
He's taking notes. Poor
What he's
guy's
trying
got to
to
take
stack
notes
up.
listening to this show.
He's like, I'm trying to enjoy the show. These idiots are giving me homework. What now? What are your thoughts on? Well, number one, I will say the only pasta shape I don't care for. I'll still eat it, but I don't love it for some reason. Is linguine.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
linguine or whatever fettuccine's made with.
Fettuccine, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, maybe I'm thinking fettuccine, not
yeah,
linguine.
fettuccine. It's such a heavy dish. I mean,
Maybe it's because I associate it with like a white sauce because
yeah, it's got the white sauce. Yeah.
I do not do non-red sauce / gravy.
Uh-huh.
I don't want a cream sauce. I don't want a vodka sauce. I don't want this sauce, pesto. What are your thoughts
Oh
on it?
yeah, not no pesto for me. Yeah, I mean, when I go away from the red sauce, it's just the oil sauce.
It's no
That
good. And
yeah.
I also growing up uh, in the backwoods of Virginia to a mother from Boston,
Hmm.
not a non-Italian mother.
Hmm.
I thought pasta was or spaghetti was the noodles, and then you'd splotch on the sauce as you're walking to your place at the table. It wasn't until I moved to New York and somebody made a nice big Italian dinner. You lightly coat the noodles with the sauce,
Hmm.
or as they call it, gravy.
Hmm.
That's it. That I like a lot better than just plopping on sauce. I just like a light, very light dusting / coating of the sauce. It's always enough for me.
A dusting of sauce. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine for me. Like you can't if you're serving me, it probably the chances of it being not enough sauce are low.
Hmm.
Wait, do I have that right? Chances of it being not enough sauce is yeah, because I don't like too much sauce.
Okay.
Sorry if I confused everybody.
Confuse the listeners.
Mental gymnastics there. I like it. Look, I like Orchetti. That's on my
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Do you like spirits? Whiskey?
ghosts.
No. I'm talking about the spirits you can drink. you're coming off my, I guess it's kind of a blunder. The Bob Dylan book. Have you made any headway in that book yet?
I've still been just scanning it. I haven't gotten to dig into it yet.
I mean, it's a
But that's
goofy book. The more I think about it, I'm like, did he kind of just, crank this thing out, knowing he's got some diehard fans out there who lap up anything he touches.
I
But
mean, that's probably
I
true, but I'm sure I'll enjoy it. It seems like a, lounging around during Christmas week kind of book to dig into.
but I actually took it to the next level. Did you know that he has whiskeys that
No.
he sells a brand of whiskey. He actually sells a couple of them. And I for whatever reason, I like to watch football over my friends. He likes to have a little sip for when we celebrate. So I said, let me get this for Christmas. I'll bring it over to add to his supplies at his bar. So I ordered the sampler. I didn't go whole hog for
A
one
Bob
particular.
Dylan whiskey sampler?
Yeah, it's a Bob Dylan whiskey sampler. The bottles are very nice. He did like a little design for the bottle. Um, and the sampler comes with double barrel whiskey,
Mhm,
a bourbon, and a rye.
mhm.
And I've seen stuff online. They've gotten good reviews. Um, so I figured, this might be something we can enjoy. We haven't tried them all because the first one that we tried, the double barrel whiskey, uh, was too reminiscent of Jack Daniels, and I'm not a Jack Daniels guy.
Too sweet for me. The older I get, the less I love whiskey. I like
Mm.
rye more now because it's less sweet.
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm going to turn down, a jug of whiskey if you hand it to me, but
A jug. People would just randomly hand you jugs of
I,
whiskey.
I say thank you and I
I
drink
mean,
it.
you did say you were in the hills of Virginia, so I guess it's not out of the question.
But
Uh,
the older I get, rye is to me. Plus like bourbon is just so collegey to me at this point. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I had bad experiences with Jack Daniels, so
Mhm,
it's not my number one. I actually like Irish whiskey. I feel like that at least is kind of smoother
mhm.
than the brown whiskey. I mean, they're not. What am I saying? Uh, the American whiskey bourbons. Um,
Yeah.
it's just so there's double barrel. I mean, when it goes down, it's burning all the way down. You're feeling it,
Mhm.
which is not my favorite feeling.
Ah,
so so I was one and done. I'm like, okay, well, we'll move on to the next one next week. I'm not going to do any more of this for now.
what comes with the Bob Dylan whiskey package? Like, is there a note from him
Are you
or
kidding me?
just
A note, yes, a private note.
yeah?
Yeah, they're not cheap, but this sampler
But
was
is
the
it
way to
branded
go.
by him or is it like
I think the sampler is cheaper than buying just a single bottle. I mean,
uh-huh.
they're not cheap. I mean, I think it was like 70 something bucks
Yeah.
for three samplers, and I guess you get a pint of each, something like that. Don't know the exact measure.
I don't think I don't
But
think
I
I've ever
felt like, at least with the sampler, you're trying this stuff, you're not committing to one.
I don't know if I've ever had it does seem like all these celebrities now, Ryan Reynolds with his gin, George Clooney just sold some big tequila company a
Oh
couple.
yeah, no, he cleaned up apparently.
I feel like all celebrities now, they're all have liquor lines, whatever. I don't think I've ever drunk one like that's quote unquote from a celebrity. Like when yours came, did it have Bob Dylan all over it, or was like this super classy? You
Well,
wouldn't
here's
even
here's
know
the thing. I couldn't
order
even
this.
find it. I couldn't find it in a store near me,
Mhm.
and I actually had to order this through the mail,
Yeah.
which I didn't even know that you could do that in New Jersey. You can do it in New Jersey, but I don't think you can do it in Virginia. Um,
Oh, have liquor shipped to you?
yeah,
Oh, right.
so,
That's probably
there's only I don't even think it's 25 states that allow you to order liquor
oh,
through the mail.
I've had wine delivered.
And
Uh,
there was a big warning on the box when it showed up. It came FedEx. Big warning, do not deliver to a minor. And of course, the FedEx guy just left it on my porch, and so yeah,
Any miner had seen that, they would have grabbed it.
so much for following through on the warning. But yeah, I heard him. He did have the courtesy to knock on the door when he delivered it. Sometimes it's just sitting out there, and you discover it like a couple hours later.
Yeah,
But
I like to knock if I'm there and then give them a minute to get away so I don't have to do the small talk.
and because they were bottles, I mean, this package had the most intense bubble wrapping.
Oh
I
god.
mean, the bubble wrapping on this thing was through the roof. I'm unwrapping and unwrapping. I couldn't even, it was like 10 minutes of just getting the bubble wrap off.
Then you needed a drink.
And I need a drink. Yeah, exactly.
Why is he selling whiskey? I mean, he's never been like,
He is just a brand.
yeah.
He has reached a level.
He turning
You
into
know,
Kiss now?
I don't call him a celebrity because I mean he's not. Yes, he's
Really?
famous. He's famous,
Yeah.
but he's famous for talent. The Kardashians, those are celebrities.
Yeah.
Like they never had a talent. So yeah, they're just famous for being famous.
Easier
So
on the peepers than Bob Dylan. Let's be fair. Let's
yeah,
be fair.
easier on the peepers.
But
Yes,
why is he in the whiskey game anyway? Is he Gene
because
Simmons just going around
I
pointing and
guess
everything? Put my name on it.
he just made how many he sold his publishing for
Yeah.
hundreds of millions,
But he's
right?
never come out and been like, boy, do I love whiskey. Like everybody knows, oh,
Well,
Dylan, he loves
in
whiskey.
his books, in his book, he talks about a period where he was drinking,
Right.
and he may have had a little problem with it, which was
So then,
which
so
was
then he starts a
why
whiskey company.
what what's that?
So then he starts a whiskey company,
Well, you know, but
like Sam Malone being an alcoholic,
maybe he's a
bar.
moderate drinker now.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, they'd have to be.
there are such things. You can drink moderately.
I'll try it, Bob. But I
Mm.
mean, okay.
Well, I don't know if you can get it. I couldn't even mail it to you.
I mean, at least the Victoria's Secret thing he did was funny. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Dylan's going to Victoria's Secret. But to go through the efforts of doing this, it's like, wouldn't you really have an interest in
Well, the
whiskey?
way I see it, he's probably got people throwing proposals at him left and
Right.
right. You know, to expand his brand. And
But he's
he'll
never
listen.
really done that. Really? Right?
No, this is something he's doing in his final years. You know,
Did you say
he's only
final
got so
year?
many years left.
Did you say
So
final year? Do
I
you
said
know
years.
something?
No,
Are
I said
you
years.
are
I'm
we talking about something here? Are
I'm
we
giving him a few
planning
more
something?
years.
Are
He's
we
he's
planning something here
he's
together, Mike
is he
Liss?
80 years old now?
Are we offing Bob Dylan? Is this what
No,
this
no,
is?
no. By no means, no.
In case the
I'm
cops
trying to help the
find this
guy out.
evidence,
He just
I
he
said
just
Bob Dylan, not Dylan, so can't use this in court.
uh-huh.
If God forbid something happens,
Mm-hmm.
then do you feel bad about Kirstie Alley now that you and Tom Sharpling trashed Cheers the
I
other
never
week?
even. When
Bad
did
now?
she come in? She was like a late arrival, right?
She came in after season 5 when Shelley Long.
Well, yeah,
She's
hey,
more episodes than Shelley Long.
that's that's 5 seasons that I never watched. I did know she was on the show. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying because I'm not saying she heard you on X for What and guess
uh-huh.
at that moment said, fuck it, I'm out and ended her
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to feel a little bad about it,
Uh-huh.
I'm here for you.
I felt worse for Christine McVie. Um, well, I know she was in Fleetwood Mac before Stevie Nicks' arrival, but that first Fleetwood Mac record with Stevie Nicks was like a big record for me.
Which one was that?
I had to rely on my older sister for my first albums.
Yeah.
She was older. Everybody, most guys have like older brothers, right? The older brothers record
Sure.
collection. I had an older sister, so it was Fleetwood Mac and Elton John.
What was the first album with Stevie Nicks? I don't care.
It's just called Fleetwood Mac. It's got Rhiannon on there.
Well, you were at the perfect age. You must have been the perfect age when Rumors hit.
Oh yeah.
Now, I've always had a beef with Rumors in that it's one of the biggest albums of all time. It's I joked before. I think I said before, you could not get in a car back then for a 10-year stretch and drive for more than 4 minutes without a song from that album coming on. But the only song I truly love from that album is one of the few songs that wasn't a single, Secondhand News. That's the
Yeah,
only
that's a good one. Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac song I love.
Yeah.
And
Well, maybe because it wasn't as overplayed as the other. I'm with you on that. I mean, that record was overplayed. You couldn't get away with it. It was like
but even then,
Hotel California.
yeah.
It was a record you couldn't avoid if you wanted to.
But even like Satisfaction
Mhm.
or Brown Eyed Girl, which I can't, if I will throw myself out this window if I hear it. I can step back and go, okay, well, they're great songs, even though I'm sick of, out of the womb, you're sick of these songs.
Right.
Same with Sweet Caroline. And I know Neil
Mhm.
Diamond had a nice moment the other night with that. Whereas these Fleetwood Mac songs, that and Brass in Pocket, for some reason, you could not get in a car without hearing the Pretender song Brass in Pocket.
Right. Yeah, that was
But even
everywhere.
though stepping back, I still don't love any of those songs
Mhm.
other than Secondhand News. I'm not saying they're shit. I'm not saying they're terrible.
No.
They're obviously amazing musicians and
Yeah.
yada yada yada. But it's like Snoresville.
I think that's why I favor the previous album, because it didn't get that overexposure. It was popular, but
Yeah.
not to the degree that Rumors was. That was just
And I'll say something here that you won't say. In our audience, I know they're thinking right now
Mhm.
is Christine McVie. Sorry, uh, not as hot as Stevie Nicks,
Yeah.
and not half as hot as
It's just
Kirstie
the
Alley.
time or the place.
Not as hot as Kirstie Alley.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I have to deal with two
You
deaths.
tied it all together. Yeah.
I have
Okay.
to if I have to grieve for one of them right now, I have to
Mhm.
focus on
Mhm.
Kirstie Alley.
Mhm.
No apologies if you're
Mhm.
waiting for one. But Christine McVie was, what was she 80? She was up there. I mean, good
Yeah.
for her. She had a nice.
And she was with the band for a little bit before Stevie
Yeah.
Nicks got there. So
And unlike everybody else in the band, nobody seems to have a bad word to say about her. So
no, she was,
except for me hating all of her songs, and not being as hot as but that's okay.
and it's weird that that Everywhere song just hit in some commercial, some car commercial. Have you been seeing that car commercial
I don't I
every
don't
10
watch
minutes?
I don't watch TV, Mike. I read books.
Oh, you
Uh,
don't watch, you
but
don't watch TV.
but
What the
even
hell do you do with your time?
but even like everybody was like Songbird, Songbird, Songbird. I had to go listen to it. I'm like, well, I don't know this song, and I played it, and I was like, eh. And to be honest, now I can't even remember how it goes. So
What a tribute there. Thanks. I was glad I put it up.
yeah, thank
Yeah, I meant to pay a
R.I.P.
little
to Stevie.
respect, and then here you come in,
Yeah,
and you're trashing the poor woman.
I don't think I'm
God
trashing.
rest her soul.
I don't think I'm trashing. I just said she had a
Uh,
great life, and everybody liked her.
mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. She can't be her artwork can't be judged anymore.
It's just the timing.
Sorry,
The timing is just off. You know,
too soon. Are we literally
too
saying too
soon.
soon?
Yeah, I'm literally saying too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah,
Christy McVie, and to be honest, I don't know if it's Christine or Christy.
it's Christine.
Christine,
Yeah,
sure.
I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure. Okay.
Google it.
I'm supposed to be having a sob session here, and you can't even remember her name. Come on, Mike.
You're the one who's having a trouble with it.
I'm just saying. I just never loved her band. Seems like
Uh-huh.
she was very well liked. That's all.
Mhm.
That's all.
Okay.
If you walked in right now and be like, "Hey, you nice woman. Nice to meet
Uh-huh.
you.
Oh, that's nice.
Have an iced tea, or
Uh-huh.
would you like this Bob Dylan bourbon that showed up that I guess he makes, which would explain a lot, actually."
Yeah. No,
Uh,
I think the only thing he makes is he came up with the design. The bottle is the design is very nice. It's interesting. It's sort of got a metalworks type thing around the bottle.
when did he start this whiskey thing?
It's been out there a while. It's won awards.
Really?
I mean, I'm not a connoisseur of liquor.
Yeah.
I stick to my watery beer.
Yeah.
Um,
The only thing I know about liquor is like I say my favorite is Bullet Rye,
mhm,
but mostly I just love the bottle. So
yeah.
That's
No, it forced, when I started working at a different bar where I didn't know any of the customers, I kind of, I mean, it was only a block away from my house. So, which was dangerous because, I'm not getting in the car. I just have to walk 2 blocks to
oh
get
yeah,
home.
like me in the
So,
turkey's nest, bro.
so a couple, when I first started working there, I'm trying to get to know these guys. So I'd go from one side of the bar to the other. And this was a hard charging group. Um, they like to do rounds of shots. And I tried a bunch of different things, they started coming out with flavored Jack Daniels,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
the
Every
cinnamon, what's the big one that was hot there for a while? I'm blanking out on it.
like fire water, like cinnamon,
Fireball,
fireball.
Fireball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no thanks.
Fireball became very popular. Then Jack Daniels came out with their own Fireball version, and they came up with a honey version. They
And
were,
then now they're going to be like the Doritos people, where it's just every day it's another flavor. When we were
yeah,
perfectly fine, everybody was perfectly fine with what you had in the first place.
yeah, and I think yeah, it's they're actually trying to get away from the actual taste of whiskey,
Yeah,
and
been
and
in the
I've
home run
seen
for 150 years.
this behavior. Why would you drink? You're aware of what a pickleback is, right?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Where you do a shot of Jameson usually, and you follow it up with a shot of pickle juice.
I love pickle juice.
Yeah, but you don't need to do it when you're having a drink, do you? I mean, I've done it, and I describe it as being training wheels for whiskey
Yeah,
drinkers.
I don't
It
think you
makes it
do it.
easier.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you'd do it if you had like a real palate and took some pride in your like my mouth when it comes to that stuff is just a garbage disposal. It's all the same. I always tell people don't waste the good stuff when I come over. Put the good stuff away.
Uh-huh.
I'll be perfectly fine. So whatever I'm throwing down my gullet, I'm fine chasing it with pickle juice because
Are
I'm
you sticking to beer? Is that
well,
you
I haven't I literally this is gonna be shocking to you.
okay? We haven't had an update in a long time, so I don't know what your drinking habits are now.
I didn't know we were doing updates. As of about a month ago, I had gone a full year without alcohol, without a
There you
beer
go. Okay.
at all, due to a health thing, not because I gave
Oh,
up.
okay. All right.
And then it started getting, I'm fine health wise, but then it's like, well, let me cross the year line just because to say I did it.
No, I give you credit for that.
Yeah,
I've cut back. I mean, I was, you know, there was a period after my brother died, I was doing a little too much. I
mhm.
mean, again, when you're in Bayonne, you can walk to bars,
Yeah, yeah.
and that is a bad combination.
That's
Um,
driving the bars, but I understand your point.
and then then things got stressful down in Howell, and pandemic.
Mhm.
I generally don't drink at home.
Right.
I still don't do that really.
Hmm.
But I did that for a little bit during the pandemic.
Hmm.
So I cut that out. I was going out a couple days a week, maybe 3 days a week, and I've cut that down to 1 day a week.
Hmm.
No, I see the benefits of cutting back, particularly at my age. I've had some health issues as well. Um, so no,
Hmm.
whatever works best for you. Um,
I did think that if I would ever gave up drinking for a year, I would lose a ton of weight, and that
mhm.
has not been the case. So
No,
I don't know if it's because I picked up a sweet tooth along the way.
you found yourself eating different things that you normally
Yeah,
didn't eat. Really? Yeah.
like I have a real sweet tooth now, which my body
Oh,
loves. It's like I went 100 years turning sweets away, and now I'm like, ooh, little dessert, sure. My body's like, fuck you.
and what is your downfall? Cookies? That's
No,
my downfall.
anything that's cookie and chocolate and peanut butter based, basically.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Uh, so yeah, I did a year, and which was easy because in the beginning it was pure health. It was like, yeah, I was
Mhm.
in the hospital for a week and then medication, yada yada.
Uh-huh.
So it's easier when you don't have a choice. So and then I'm like, oh, I'll hit a year.
Mhm.
And now, just to say I got through 2022, I'll probably go through January, and then get back to tearing the roof off these motherfuckers. No.
Okay. Well,
So that's the update.
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we haven't, I mean, I haven't seen you. How long has it been since I've seen you in person? I mean, it's been a long time. I mean,
Ooh, that's a good question.
basically it's social media is how we've continued to stay in touch.
I guess it would be before I left Brooklyn.
All right.
Gee, that's
In order
depressing.
that's already 10 years, right?
10 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
2023. I'm gonna say it now to our fans. And by that I mean Jerry. Mike and I will have a live face-to-face podcast in 2023. How about that? You like that?
Okay.
You like that?
Live? Where are we going to do this?
I don't mean live. I mean
Oh,
we'll record it together. We'll have ourselves a
we
weekend.
can do those things on Instagram.
Yeah, I've never done or Facebook Live or can you do it on Instagram too?
I just saw one of my fellow Best Show crew, Jason Gore, just did a live stream,
Uh-huh.
and it seems pretty basic. He was able to get 3 people, so it's not just one person. You can get a couple people in there.
Yeah.
So
Were they remote from each other or in the same room?
yeah, no, they were remote. Yeah,
Okay.
all over the country.
Maybe as we step up, if we went to the next level next year, everything's next year because I can't be bothered for the rest of December. Uh, Greggy is mailing it in. Maybe that's something to try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done the live Facebook or the live. Actually, I do know the live Instagram thing because I don't really watch it, but I stumbled into following. You're not a big Office fan, but Belora Hardin, who plays Jan in The
Oh, well,
Office.
I'm a big Jan fan.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. I
She's on
got you, bro.
Instagram.
I got you, bro.
She's on Instagram.
Well, no, her husband, who I think is an actor too, I've never really seen him anything.
Uh-huh.
He does a live reading every night of a book. And I think I stumbled into it. He was doing, I don't know, like the Jungle Book or something. And I can't stop. I don't watch it, but every night it pops up. Oh, fireside reading is starting.
Every night he's doing this.
Every night he'll read a chapter of whatever book he's doing. And I think
so he's like working through entire books chapter by chapter.
He did David Copperfield. I mean, that's
oh my god, wow,
3,000 chapters.
Oh my god.
And then it gets packaged up into an audiobook or something. I'm like, who's reading that? But I'm fascinated, and this is disgusting to say. I'm looking at this guy. When I was like, this guy has gotten this lie in bed with Jan from The Office for 30 years. And I'm just fascinated by it.
Okay. I'll have to check him out. I
Guilty.
tried. I thought I had an idea similar to that, but my idea was to like just find favorite passages from favorite books,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
short
cool.
and short. I think I did about 3 little videos, but
Did
then
you?
it dawned on me, wow, this is gonna become like homework. I got to scour these books for passages. I mean, I haven't read this book in a long time. Where's the part I want?
Huh.
I wanted to talk about the Bono book, and I wanted to find this passage. I can't find the damn thing.
Are
But
you saying I should do that for my book?
oh, that would be great. Yeah. Yeah. No, that would be good. Highlights. That's I'm surprised you haven't jumped into it yet, to tell you the truth.
Because I was hoping, I think next week I'll be able to make the official announcement that you'll be able to get Williamsburg Rats paperback starting next week.
Great.
It's been a hassle, but fingers crossed.
I know I did a little excerpt on this show, but I wouldn't mind doing that same excerpt, but without laughing in the middle of it, and
I mean, if you can read that brilliant book without laughing, good luck. Maybe that's something to do. Yeah, I've never really, other than that one guy doing it, I've never really noticed it or done it.
And so the videos must be, how long are the videos? Like
I
over
don't
a
know. I
half?
usually just check for like 3 seconds. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that guy's gotten
So
for 30.
so you're not even interested in the readings.
No, couldn't care
You're
less.
just like puzzled.
I'm
Is he like a dashing,
very
handsome
dashing.
man?
Yes,
Okay,
he's
yeah. Well,
very
I wouldn't
British,
expect less, you know.
very British. He's got the
Oh,
mustache.
he's got the British accent too.
His
There you
name is
go.
like Gilbert or something. Very
Okay.
on brand.
Okay.
Uh, he's he's very knock on the door. Here's the butler. Very classy.
Is she British? You know, you sometimes you see these actresses
She's not
and
British. No,
no, okay.
no, no.
You know, they're in these television programs, and then you see them interviewed and they got an accent.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh wow, okay.
I
Didn't know
uh,
that.
I mean, I'm not shitting on the guy. He seems
Uh,
nice, but you look at him, you're like, I can't believe this is Mr. Jan
Mr. J.
for the last 30 years.
Think people call him that when they see him in public. Oh,
Hey, if
Mr.
I'm
J.
married to her, you call me Mr. Miss, whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's yes, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Can I rub your feet, ma'am?
Uh-huh.
Um, so
Yeah,
that's
I told you I was waiting. The dinner party episode of The Office came up recently,
oh yeah.
and I will save that particular episode. That was yeah, I guess I would
Saving
say.
it, or you haven't watched it yet?
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen the whole
Saving,
thing.
talking about it. Okay.
I watched it beginning to end, but now I can see the repeats and actually, like, did you see the Mindy Kaling? I guess everybody who's I guess who's on that show has to come out at some point and say The
Yeah,
Office couldn't be
I
made today,
hate
right?
that.
Yeah, yeah.
They did that when the British one had its big 10-year, 20-year anniversary last year.
Uh-huh.
The only article after article couldn't be made now, and I'm
Hmm.
like, well, then I'm glad they made it when they did. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, we live in humorless times now.
But it's like, even if
Everybody's
that's the
walking on
case,
eggshells. God
even if
forbid
that's the
some.
case, who cares? I still get to
Yeah,
go back and watch all of The Office I want.
yeah,
So what do I care if it could be made?
yeah. But
The
it's yeah,
pyramids could be made now. Who gives a shit?
all
They're
right.
there. We
Yeah,
get to enjoy them.
yeah.
Not that I'm comparing the pyramids to The Office. I would put The Office above them. But you're
Everybody's got
right.
a every.
Because I saw that headline. I didn't read it. I
Uh-huh,
saw Mindy Kaling, and I'm like, oh, what's she up to?
uh-huh.
And it could not Office could not be made. I'm like, I haven't seen this fucking article 100 times.
they, they have to go. They have to space it out, right? I mean, somebody said that Steve Carell has
Yeah,
already
that's
done this.
Krasinski, your turn.
He's already did his penance.
Yeah, I'm like, who
He's
gives a
already
shit?
did his penance for being in one of the funniest television shows.
I don't know why they were
It's
so
so bizarre.
fascinated.
We live in a weird time, boy. You know?
So fascinated with, oh, this couldn't be done today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So what do you want? What do you want me to tell you?
Hmm.
A lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
Are you?
I
Are
agree
you?
with you.
Are you? So we'll talk about the dinner party when you're ready. It is
No,
probably.
I mean, I just watched it again. That I mean, you know, I don't know that I would watch it just sort of automatically the way, say, sometimes I just get caught up with a Seinfeld episode or
Yeah.
even Curb Your
Now,
Enthusiasm.
I don't know if I've ever seen you react to a woman like you just did with Jan. I hope that doesn't ruin it for me.
Sorry,
But
I'm dispelling some sort of fantasy
I
world
mean, no
you've
offense,
been living in.
no offense, but if the next time I'm thinking about her, you pop into my head, I'm not gonna look.
Uh-huh.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, then I've achieved my mission.
But speaking of The Office and not loving something, I
Uh-huh.
finally today. Now Twitter's been weird lately anyway, but that's a whole nother thing.
Hmm.
I finally quit following Ricky Gervais
Uh-huh. Okay.
on Twitter.
Too
This guy,
much. He's too much for you.
it's too much. No, I've never seen a comedian
Hmm.
every 3 seconds reposting and bragging that either his last show or his last comedy special, breaking streaming records, breaking money
Oh,
records,
really? Yeah.
breaking
Okay.
tickets records.
Well, that's
Like,
that's
number
pompous.
one,
Yeah,
who
that's
gives a
pompous.
shit?
Yeah.
I've never heard a comedian brag about that. So that's obnoxious. Number two, I'm sorry, he's not a real stand-up anyway.
Hmm.
Sorry to tell you. And so finally today, I'm like annoyed. I'm like, God, why do I keep it's a million of these? Finally, I'm like, well, I don't have to follow him. Like, what are you doing? Like, just unfollow. Bloop.
See,
And I,
I think I may still be following him, but I don't think I ever see him.
oh,
I'm following like 1,500 over 11,000 people.
oh,
So when
excuse
that
me.
happens, you're
Oh,
not really following anybody.
oh,
So,
yeah.
the only people really that pop up into my feed are people I'm reacting to, like you,
Mhm.
best show people. And so, yeah, I mean,
Well, for some reason, since the Muskian rain has begun, and again, I don't want to get started on that tonight. For some reason, I get nothing but you also may like, and 90% of the time it's because Elon Musk liked it, and it's like, well, what? Uh, or Twitter seems to think I'm wildly curious about every thought that's going through Kyle Rittenhouse's fucking empty head. Uh, I see his
yeah, I
posts
mean, I'm not
constantly.
following him, but yeah, he seems
You
to
see
be
it too?
popping up. What's that?
You see him too?
Yeah, I'm seeing him. I don't follow him,
I
but
don't follow him either.
you know, it's popping up. Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
because
I wonder if they just they'll see trends, and then they
they
start promoting.
definitely rejiggered something because I'm getting a million. You may like, so and so, which I never really got before. I kind of had my normal, whatever roster of followers I'd scan through every day,
Mhm.
and I don't know if it's just because this Rittenhouse idiot mentions Elon Musk almost every tweet, like, or what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. But between that and Ricky Gervais, I was like, I can't.
Well, is this another new feature? What I'm seeing is that people who I follow will like something, a tweet by somebody who I don't follow, and
Mhm.
then that gets promoted.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been
Has
some of
that
that.
always been there?
It's always been some of that, and that's fine, but
Oh,
not
okay,
to the
because it seems
degree.
like it's more than usual.
Yeah, it seems like all I get now are, hey, you also may like,
Mhm,
dipshit 69,
mhm,
whatever,
mhm.
Kyle Rittenhouse. It seems to be all that almost. All that
Uh,
and Kyle Rittenhouse and Ricky Gervais telling me how much money he's made in the last 10 fucking minutes.
I didn't
So,
know that was a thing he did, but yeah, that's
oh,
obnoxious.
oh,
Yeah.
records, oh, tickets,
Uh-huh.
record.
Uh-huh.
Again, I'm like,
I
you're
mean
not
I know you were a big fan of the what was the last series?
Afterlife.
Afterlife, yes.
I liked it. It was all right. I didn't love it.
That last episode, and I know people loved it,
That one now, the last
but
episode got to me. I'm only human.
well, it was one of the sappiest things I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Yeah. The
You
whole
like
thing
sappy.
was sappy, and
You like sappy though. You've
but
got a
but it
heart
was
of
too
gold.
much.
I've got a heart of stone. So I understand our
Yeah,
differences.
you're old, and your heart's old and withered. Mine is bursting full of life and hope. We know that. We
uh-huh.
understand this.
Uh-huh.
But that show was too sappy. It was just constant. I don't like sappy when it's so signaled. Like, here we
Yeah,
come.
no,
Here
it
comes the
was
water.
over the
Get your
top,
waterworks ready.
and
But
the
that's his thing.
finale.
That's why he's a shitty comedian to me. Number one, he's not a comedian. Number
Mhm,
two, he gives himself, he spends a lot of time patting himself in the back for being so edgy. I'm going to say
mhm,
the stuff
mhm.
nobody else will say.
Uh-huh.
But if you watch it while he does it, he couches it. He does a little impish grin.
Mhm.
I'm about to say something. And the crowd goes,
Uh-huh.
and then he says it while giggling. Everybody goes, and then he
Yeah.
goes, can you believe I said that?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Man,
That's a big thing of his thing.
that's his whole
But
thing.
I
Not
appreciate it
fucking
when he's doing it
edgy.
to celebrities.
It's
The
not
Golden I like the Golden
the
Globes.
His Golden Globe stuff is great.
Yeah.
But it's
So
not
yeah.
edgy if you're like, here's something edgy I'm about to say,
Yeah.
and then you giggle and hide.
Uh-huh.
That's so edgy. Fuck you. It's like, come on now. But yeah, I just made another $9 zillion.
But on the Golden Globes, he's going after. Yeah, actually, I think he was going after Apple. I
Yeah,
mean, he was going after big.
I
He was
like him in
going
the
after
Golden
big
Globes.
money. What's that?
I like him in the Golden Globes because that's
Yeah.
when it is a little. He is really edgy on that.
Mm-hmm.
don't sell me this. Ooh, I'm so crazy. Can you believe I said that? Like,
No,
yes,
I
I
know what you're
believe it
saying.
because
Yeah,
you
it's
fucking announced
cutesy.
it and packaged it, and now you're giggling. But it's like, yeah, I can believe you said it. You
Yeah,
say
it's
it like
cute.
that, you
It's
say anything.
cutesy. Yeah, it's cutesy. But
It's,
yeah, but Afterlife was just too much. And that final episode, I mean, I was almost like laughing
I'll be
how
honest.
like he just kept taking it to the next level of
Yeah.
sappiness. And I'm like, oh
For
my
some
God.
reason, the show drove me crazy, and it's sad. It was like, I'm gonna make you cry and then
Hmm.
laugh and then cry and then laugh.
Hmm.
And it was so calculated. It was annoying. I don't know why I watched the whole series. But I will say, because I'm a sap and I knew it was the ending, he totally got me at the end. But the previous
Gotcha.
900, here comes the
Uh-huh.
waterworks. I was like, shut up.
But then you're just being manipulated, you know?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
when you're being manipulated, it loses its
yeah.
authenticity. It's kind of phony.
It's
Uh
totally phony. But but then again, I sat through the whole thing. Well, the cast was great
I think
too.
I watched it because you were kind of pumping it up.
Yeah,
You were pumping it up.
yeah.
I'm like, all right, Greg likes it. I'll give it a shot.
It's easy to watch. The cast is great.
Mm.
Uh,
I've
but
never seen an Office. Yeah, like I guess a lot of sitcoms have this issue with like work. What an office is really like.
yeah,
And on that show, it was totally slack. I mean,
yeah. For
it
Slack,
was
for
like
the
they were
company
barely working. It was like
that
they
obviously was making no money. It's not like they're slacking while working in Silicon Valley. Yeah, they're
uh-huh.
slacking for this local newspaper that I guess exists. And
Yeah.
but the problem with it is the problem that also bugs me is it was a great premise.
Hmm.
Like your wife died, so you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna be an asshole. But that
Hmm.
didn't even really happen.
Yeah.
He would just be this grouchy curmudgeon, but he was constantly being saved by his boss, just happened to be his brother-in-law, who's
Yeah.
going to understand,
Yeah.
things
Everything
and
was very
lets him get away with
convenient
everything.
and
It would have been more interesting if he actually was that way in a more real setting with consequences, as opposed to I'm just being an asshole when I want to be an asshole, and everybody just stands around going, "Gee, he's being a jerk," but we have to like it. And then when he's funny, we're like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" Through the grief, he's. Ugh. But every 3 seconds, I got to see a tweet. Afterlife record for watchers and viewers, and
oh, okay. Yeah, no, I like I said, I think I'm following him, but I don't think I've seen a tweet by him in ages. So when you follow 11,000 people, you don't really see everybody.
I'm,
Uh,
I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna ask our listeners. By that I mean Jerry. If you're following Ricky Gervais, I'm asking you solidarity, unfollow. And I love The Office. I love extras. I mean, Ricky doesn't owe me anything, but enough's enough. Sorry.
that's all right. You got up on your soapbox, and you're free to do that on this show.
And spoiler alert, I'm not really sorry.
What was that?
Spoiler alert, I'm not really sorry.
Oh, okay.
But before we close up,
Yeah.
is this our first show in December?
Um,
Um, uh,
I believe it is
are you going to get into a little seasonal depression, or how do you
seasonal depression. Okay. Well,
handle?
you're gonna bring this up now at the end
Oh,
of the show.
sorry. No, I was just saying. My thing is not seasonal depression. My thing is I love December. I love the holiday season so much,
Hmm.
but then I spend the time loving it, but then I spend the exact same time as I'm doing it worried I'm not enjoying it. And I'm like, oh, last year didn't really get to settle back and enjoy the season. It was over. So I spend the whole time worrying about that. And then before I know it, boom, it's January. And then I get bummed about that.
Well, I did find myself the other day. Now I'm becoming, I'm sort of transitioning to a suburbanite
Oh,
down at my father's house, and there's the whole leaf issue to deal with.
oh God, the leaf blower.
So now I wasn't using a leaf blower. My brother actually hired a guy actually he does he cuts the lawns, which is I'm happy for that in the summer.
Mhm.
But on the last leg of his his service, he sort of he didn't get the leaves to the curb.
Uh-oh.
He just put them in giant bunches in the backyard,
Mm-mm.
which now it's my task to get them to the curb. So Monday was a beautiful day, and I was out there raking my leaves. I've got a little system with a tarp. I
Mhm.
rake them onto the tarp. I drag them to the curb.
Great system.
Yeah, good system. I felt like, I was, it was like almost like a Cheech and Chong bit. So I'm raking the leaves into this tarp. It felt like, I'm rolling a giant joint. You know, uh, this is
I'd have
what.
thought you'd have gone with burrito.
Well, yeah, I guess you could look at it that way too. But Cheech and Chong is
Yeah.
an
I
early
don't, I
influence.
don't have to start calling you Captain Trips from now on.
Captain Trips. So anyway, yeah, but then I get two days of rain, and I'm not raking up wet leaves. I draw the line for that.
Oh no.
Yeah. But the tree, yeah, winter is here. The trees are barren, and I mean, it gets dark at 4:30 now, 5. It's ridiculous. I'm not
That
a
I
fan.
love.
You love that,
Oh yeah.
really?
Maybe it's the Irish in me. I hate the sun.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
this.
I have my struggles with the sun,
Yeah.
but I like, 8 o'clock, still light out. That's great. It's not, the sun isn't
What do you need a
beaming
light for? What
down.
are you doing out? What are you doing outside at 8 o'clock at night? What are you reading out in your front yard?
No, no, I'm not doing that. But I just, they say it affects your mood, right? You're
Oh yeah.
buoyed up. You're buoyed up by the extra darkness. You
I like the
feel
extra.
invigorated.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm invigorated by anything,
It
but
sounds like you're really loving it.
I definitely love the darkness better than the.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
it's 8 o'clock and it's still light. It's depressing.
Hmm.
It's like, ooh.
Uh,
But I also I understand I'm in the minority, and
uh-huh.
I do know that seasonal depression is a real thing. I have friends
Yeah.
who do not love it when the winter comes and the lights go
Hmm.
out. I think that's when I come stronger, like a superhero,
I think it's had an
fueled by the
effect.
moon.
It's had an effect on my father. He's like going to bed at like 5 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
and it
I know I'm
makes.
in the minority when it comes to that. That's
Uh,
okay. But I love the darkness. I love the when somebody does the Christmas trees out on their lawn. But
hmm
then I start to upset myself because I'm like, you got to enjoy it this year. You got to really enjoy it. Are you embracing it? Are you loving
hmm
it?
Yeah.
And I spin myself into like, ah, fuck, it's over. What did I do? I didn't really. I don't
You're
know. I don't know what
you're
I'm expecting. It's not like I'm gonna go sit in Santa's lap and I don't know what I'm expecting. But I'm a full grown adult.
you're around kids though. That's what keeps it alive.
I'm around kids. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, my niece and nephew are now in college,
yeah,
so we're back to, yeah, it's back
yeah.
to just dreary adult holidays
Well,
coming together
most of
for.
the kids in my empire, I can only think of one who I don't know why I'm talking as if he's going to listen to this. He's 6. Still believes.
He still
I think,
believes.
I think he's 6. Well, no, he just turned 7. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
I think most of the kids, whether or not they admit it yet, have kind of eased out of believing. So, but
Uh-huh.
even the adult parts of the season, I love. I look forward to it. And then I get bummed if I haven't reveled in them. Whatever that. It's like I'm going toboggan down a hill. Like, what am I even talking about? Like,
You decorate? I mean, you go all out?
that's a thing. I don't go all out.
Uh-huh.
I could do
No.
better. I could do more. A little tree, some lights, but I went to a friend's the other day and he had put lights on his big tree out in the front yard. And I'm like, thank you. Because nothing
Uh-huh.
drives me crazier. I go to someone's house and they have a beautiful tree in their yard, perfect for a Christmas tree. They go, oh, you're going to put lights on that? And they look at me like I just farted in church. And I'm like, why would you not put Christmas lights
Uh-huh.
on his big tree?
Now my house is not very festive. I mean,
Mhm.
it's kind of I think there's 2 houses on my block in contention for the sad house.
Mhm.
Sort of like Boo Radley's house in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Well, I don't know if that was
That was
sad. They're
kind of a
scared.
sad house, or
Nice
uh,
to kill a mockingbird drop in. Right?
but
Gonna scare me with
the
a
house
household.
that people wonder, like, well, is everybody okay there?
What's the other house? Who's the other people? Can you
Well,
go
no, the
knock on
other
their
house is,
door?
well, oh, the other house.
Why don't you combine, the two sad houses and make a nice fun house?
I was thinking about this because I'm reading this Bono book and I couldn't find this quote. He talked about, and he's always throwing out these one-liners,
Mhm.
like here's a sample. This is not a good one.
Mhm.
If you're where you should be, you'll meet whom you need to meet. Okay.
God, does he write our fortune cookies? Oh
Yeah.
my
So
God.
so
Probably
there
with
there
some of
are
me
some
too.
there are some groaners like that.
Jesus.
But he did throw out an idea, and I kind of thought about it, and this sort of ties in with the other sad house on the block.
Mhm.
Um, he said that we stay the same age if we've been through significant trauma,
Mhm.
that we kind of remain that age. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I mean, my grandmother, I think I've mentioned, she lost a baby, and she became an unhappy person pretty much for the rest of her life, I believe. I don't know. I never knew her as a person who could even smile, much less laugh.
Yeah.
She was not a happy person. My mother, when I lost my brother, I mean, she did uh go into depression.
Yeah.
It was never diagnosed. She wasn't going to a doctor for it, anything, but she became very sedentary. And but this other house on my block, it's a woman who she lost her husband.
I'm listening.
um her husband must have been, I'm saying, he must have been in like maybe his late 30s, early 40s, so he was young.
Do
um
you know this woman, like, as a friend or
well,
passive?
we're not really. I'll get to how my last encounters, but she's one of the original people on this block. My parents, she moved in when this development first. We're the original owners of this house I'm in.
Mhm.
She's the original owner of the house she's in. There's only about
Oh, so she's
uh
not 30 or 40 now.
oh, no, no, no,
Okay.
no. I mean, but
Right.
here's the thing, she had one son. By most appearances, she's out of the house. So she's alone in this house. She never remarried.
Mhm.
There was a weird period where uh, the brother of the woman, not the brother of her husband, who looked a lot like her husband. I guess he was coming around to help her out after
Scandal.
he died and stuff. But I think he's passed on. I haven't seen that person in a long time.
Would
Um,
it be tacky if I suggested an egg foo what date between her and I?
I believe she's probably in her 70s.
You don't have to sell me, Mike. I'm open.
But anyway, sure. When I drive past her house, like it's she keeps a neat house.
Mhm.
I mean, but it just seems like a living mausoleum.
Yeah,
She kind of entombed herself there. I don't know if she stayed there because of the devastation of losing her husband.
could have been. Yeah.
Uh, but it just seems like her life kind of froze. You know,
Are you gonna make a Miss Havisham coming? That we're gonna drop
yeah,
after bungling To Kill a Mockingbird?
yeah. But and then I'm thinking about myself. I'm like, okay, I was about 27 years old when I lost my brother.
Mhm.
I didn't really, I can say, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be regretful, but I didn't make a serious effort to get married, have children.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what it's all about, right? I mean, I don't know if that was out of, uh, I'm running from life. I was talking about Quentin Tarantino, hiding out from life,
Mhm.
hiding out from his trauma in movie houses. But there's, other ways you can run away from life.
Mhm.
And yeah, it made me think. I'm like, okay, Bono's throwing out some whoppers here, but that one actually got me. And I was like, oh, okay, that's an interesting theory. And then I'm
Yeah,
thinking about people I know, and I'm like, okay, does that apply? Uh,
I
it's
think I
something to
probably.
ponder.
Yeah. I mean, you yelled at me 20 minutes ago not to be depressing, and now, hey, I was
You
just
opened the
saying.
door. You opened the door. I question what you were doing.
I was like, oh, you're gonna be sad if Santa doesn't come, but I think there's something to that, probably. Yeah.
It's something to think about anyway. I'm looking at my fortune.
Bye,
I'm
Bono.
I'm going to send this out to you. An understanding heart warms all that are graced with its presence.
An understanding heart warms all that is graced with its presence.
Yeah.
Now, I would not call that a fortune, but it is nice.
It's a nice sentiment. Yeah, you don't
Nice.
you don't even get fortunes. You get sentiments.
It's better than most of the garbage they've been giving you.
Poor Jerry put up on Instagram, him and his wife got the same fortune.
Really?
I mean, yeah, that's just poor quality control,
I
right?
gotta look it up. I'm sure I posted about it in one of my 29,000 posts from on Expo. I think I got 2 fortunes in one cookie once, and it was the same. So it's like, obviously they print out a bunch of the same.
Yeah.
But getting 2 together, that is pretty. I wonder what the fortune was. Was it something like you should leave your spouse, like something very specific?
No, it was just, a typical, not particularly earth-shattering sentiment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Jerry's gotten a lot of airtime tonight. Like
Jerry deserves it, man. That guy is the hardest working man on YouTube.
Wouldn't it be great if after hearing this, he's saying, you know what, fuck these guys. Oh, he's losing. But yeah, that's a good fortune.
It is.
Or not a good fortune. It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Gonna
leave it there.
A lot of ideas for 2023 we got cooking here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
As I ease into the Christmas holidays.
Yeah. The person who says that we don't put any thought into our shows, not informative. I mean, he's the only sour guy in our reviews.
Oh, that jack off?
There's a couple haters, but they didn't even have the guts to say what they hate about the show. But I think I know who those 2 haters are. 2 of those haters. Yeah.
Your voice, you just did that. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I know who they are.
Well, who are they?
I'm not even going to get into it.
I was hoping I could trip you.
I won't even give them the satisfaction.
Ouch.
Yeah.
The greatest insult one man can give.
Yeah. Don't even acknowledge them. Don't acknowledge the haters.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't acknowledge them. Haters got to do their thing. Let them do it.
Let them hate.
God bless them. God bless the haters.
Participate.
God bless the haters. Is that from Christmas Carol?
God bless the haters? No, that is not from the Christmas.
Is that something Tiny Tim said?
No, he didn't say that.
No. You like Christmas Carol?
Of course I love A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, yeah. Which one? Which is your preferred?
What do you mean, which one?
I mean, it's been filmed a number of times. I'm talking about the movies.
Oh, I meant the book.
Yeah, I know there's a book, yeah.
Sorry. I haven't watched the Hello Kitty Japanese animated version. That's funny because last year I made a point of watching there's like 3 different versions. I'll have to go back and see which one I liked the most. I think I like I've always liked the George C. Scott one. I don't know if it's because that came out when I was a kid. Remember that one? The early.
Yeah, I think I've seen it, but not recently.
I like the classic one with the guy who's 9,000 years old in the 40s or whatever. I'll have to look and see which one I like the best.
Yeah.
I really.
This is your time of year, so yeah, this is not a specific Christmas episode. This is being recorded on the 81st anniversary of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
So let's keep that in mind.
I call it Larry Bird's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for serving.
All right. So,
but I actually yesterday was Peter Buck's birthday, and I didn't realize, it never occurred to me they were the same age, basically.
Oh, they are?
Like,
born on the same day? Born on the same day, yeah.
Well, Peter Buck was born one day before Larry Bird.
One day before, okay.
Which I would not have guessed. And then I started thinking, are they the greatest instance of 2 people I absolutely love who were born on consecutive days?
All right. Well, that's a little different. I always take this opportunity, and you probably heard it a number of times already, to talk about my doppelganger.
Uh-oh.
The person who was born on the very same day.
Let me see if I can guess. Hold on.
Okay.
Tom Sizemore.
Sizemore. Okay. No. He was in a very popular movie. He's recently revived his career with some popular television shows, reviving a movie that he did many years ago. I've never watched this series, but people are fans of it. Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid himself.
Oh, okay.
The Karate
That's a
Kid
good one.
himself. Yeah. Do you have somebody you were born on the same day? Do you know?
I've never seen. I always check, born on this day, but it's never
The
I don't
year?
think it's ever the same year. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, but that's always funny. Two guys I worship born on consecutive days. I don't know if there's another instance like that.
Are you saying Ralph Macchio and me don't qualify?
You said you were born on the same day.
Same day, yeah.
Yeah.
But can we be our own category now?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Right now, you
you
two
like
are my
Ralph
favorite.
Macchio?
I don't love him. I mean,
Uh-huh.
well, then again, I love them in My Cousin Vinny.
Uh-huh. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't funny in it.
And what's the something Kai, the karate show, kids?
I don't watch that shit.
Yeah, well, I don't watch it either, but it was very
I didn't
popular.
watch 9 other Karate Kid movies either.
Did you watch the soccer show?
No.
No.
What's the
Okay.
soccer show?
The one with it's in England. Yeah, I mean
Are you trying to say Ted Lasso?
Yeah, Ted Lasso.
Do you not know? Why he's not on that show?
No, but I just I went off on a different, wildly popular shows that I'm not watching.
Yeah, I love Ted Lasso.
You do? Okay.
You wouldn't like it. It's way too sappy.
I watched one episode. I liked the owner.
Yeah.
I liked her sassiness.
Yeah.
And even the younger woman who goes out with one of the soccer dudes.
Yeah. No,
I've seen her in different things. She's a good actress.
You would it's too sappy for you.
Yeah.
You would melt down and you would get angry.
Yeah, no, I picked up on that, and I weighed it because I like these actresses, but
I have a beating heart, so I love it, but not for everyone.
This is 2 days in a row. I was called out for my ice cold heart. Tom Sharpling called me out because I didn't weep during the Neil Young has a new documentary out coinciding with the 50th anniversary of Harvest. It's called Harvest Time. And it wasn't playing at any theaters near me, so I wasn't able to see it in the theater. It was only in the theater for a couple of days. But if you get the little box set, you get the documentary, you get another live solo show on the BBC.
Is it streaming anywhere, or is it just you have to buy the box set?
Yeah, I think it's only available that way now.
Okay.
'Cause
I'm curious enough about rock docs or the making of albums, even though I couldn't care less about that album.
Really?
If I could peek in and watch the making of, that's interesting. I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, it's interesting, and people are actually comparing it to Get Back.
Oh, well, they need to shut their mouths because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to watch it.
And I'll say this: I think it's got less fat on it.
Well,
I mean, it's 2 hours long.
You're just provoking.
It's 2 hours long, and there's no little joking around.
Oh, all business. Great! I need
the endless John Lennon, funny man antics.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like John Lennon, but I don't know, that set me back some watching Get Back.
Oh, good. 2 hours of a serious down to business Neil Young. Can't wait.
Jamming, recording.
Jamming? Awesome.
They were recording the background vocals, drinking some Michelobes. I mean, there's some wild contraption.
If it pops up on Netflix or whatever, I'll watch it. But now you've just angered me with the whole comparison.
No, Neil's keeping everything to himself. He wants to get you on his website where everything is available. If you're a Neil Young fan, If you
That's
want to
fine.
see that movie, I mean, it's
That's
not on
fine.
this. It's not streaming on there,
I
but you could
respect
probably
that.
get the archive website for a month. You'll be able to watch the movie. I mean, I don't know where you stand with Neil Young. I take it you're not really a fan. I mean,
No,
if you don't like Harvest, I
no. There's
mean,
like 3 songs of his I love. The other
three
9,000,
songs, three
the other 9,
songs,
huh?
3 songs. Neil Young, you've boiled down to 3 songs.
Yes, yes.
That is an outrage. Why don't you just say you hate him?
I do.
I
I
mean,
am
that's like
saying I hate him.
embarrassing that
Well,
you're saying
I don't
that's
want to say that.
it's
I
an
respect
insult. You like 3 songs. What
I
3
respect
songs?
him. I respect him as a guitar player.
Uh-huh.
I've heard him on Howard. He seems like a nice guy. I like him.
Uh-huh.
Uh, no, there 9,000 of his songs sound the exact fucking same.
Not true.
Yeah,
What are the 3 songs? This is gonna be
hold on, I'm doing an
a
impression.
scream.
Doing an impression.
Yeah, yeah. That's every song sounds that way.
Thank you for agreeing with me. That's nice of you. You didn't have to do that, my
How
friend.
many albums of his have you actually listened to?
24.
24. Okay.
I
I don't believe you.
like Helpless.
Helpless. Okay.
I like Rockin' the
Crosby,
Free
Stills, Nash
World.
and Young. Which one?
Rockin' the Free World.
Rockin' the Free World. Okay.
And I like After the Garden.
After the Garden. Okay, that's
I stumped you.
I'm trying to is that a CSNNY song? Another one?
It is a 2000s. Now, I'm sorry, did that go too deep for you with the Neil? Am
No,
I?
is that one of his Earth albums? His
I don't know what that means.
he's very
It
involved
came out during the
with
Bush years. I think he was mad at Bush. That's a great song. It just
After the
happened.
Garden. All right, now
The
you'll
rest of it,
three
I don't
songs.
care. I respect him as a musician, fine, but I'm not
The
listening.
rest of it, I don't care.
Don't care.
Some of the greatest albums in rock history.
Nope.
Dismissed.
Dismissed. Yes, offhand.
Dismissed.
Out of hand.
Yeah, dismissed.
Dismissed.
Wow.
But I will, if this documentary popped up, I'd watch it.
We should have put you through the paces on So Far, man.
I mean,
I album by album.
The documentary, and I hate them.
Uh-huh.
What's So Far? What do you mean?
Well, that was the Best Show spinoff where we reviewed every Crosby album, every Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Podcast if it was mine. They stink. This album, El Stinko. This album, El Stinko. Stinko.
You've listened to the entire Harvest album before and came to the conclusion that you don't like one song on that album.
Plus,
Old Man.
He always seems like such a cool guy. You're like,
Old Man, Harvest.
Why was he hanging out with Crosby?
Needle and the Damage Done?
No,
none of it.
Don't care.
Oh my God.
I respect him as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a nice guy. He's big on climate change, fixing that. Great. Somehow married Daryl Hannah. Kudos.
Kudos for that.
Kudos for that.
Kudos for that above his music.
Capped off. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I'm more impressed with him marrying Daryl Hannah than 9,000 of his songs.
Entire output.
But I'm not. I don't want to be disrespectful. I do respect him as a musician.
3 songs. Wow. Okay. I got to leave it on that one. I got to go.
Okay. Think about that.
I got to go splash some water on my face.
Splash some water on that stew.
I knew we never really had a discussion, but now that we've aired it out, it was more out there than I expected.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that's fine. You love Neil Young. A lot of people love Neil Young. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. It's not like, Dave Matthews, where I will just scream at you.
Well, no, I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's like,
that's a deal breaker.
All right. That's all.
All right. We're going to end on that somber note.
That was the somber note? That was the saddest bit you're going away?
Yeah. I think so.
All right.
I want to thank everybody for listening.
This was our sad December episode.
Uh-huh.
Next week's going to be nothing but funny.
I know Jerry's the only one who's made it to this point in the show, so I'm going to thank him personally.
Thank you, Jerry.
Jerry Papandrea.
About 30 minutes ago. Jerry's not hearing this.
No, I think Jerry's here to the bitter end.
Jerry's not hearing this.
And he's gonna listen to it before he goes to bed tonight.
He dipped out long ago. He said,
Uh-huh.
but anyway. All right, Ravana.
Okay, yeah, all right. I'll let that be the end.
Is that the end?
Yeah, that's the end. Good
All right,
night,
buddy.
bruv.
Oh, lovely jubbly.
Uh,